Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We will chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 6 to 10 of chapter 3. Karmendriyani sanyamya,
Karmendriyani sanyamya,
ya aste manasa smaran,
ya aste manasa smaran,
indriyartan vimudhatma,
indriyartan vimudhatma,
mithyachara sa uchyate,
mithyachara sa uchyate,
yastvindriyani manasa,
yastvindriyani manasa,
niyamyarabhaterjuna,
niyamyarabhaterjuna,
karmendriyai karmayogam,
Karmendriyai karmayogam,
asakta savishishyate,
asakta savishishyate,
niyatam kuru karmatvam,
niyatam kuru karmatvam,
karmajyayo hyakarmanaha,
karmajayo hyakarmanaha,
sharirayatra pichate,
sharirayatra pichate,
na prasidhyeda karmanaha,
na prasidhyeda karmanaha,
yajñarthat karmanonyatra,
यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र
lokoyam karma bandhanaha,
लोकोऽयं कर्मबन्धनः
tadartham karma kaunteya,
तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय
mukta sangha samachara,
मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर
saha yajñah praja srishtva
सह यज्ञा प्रजा सृष्ट्वा
purovacha prajapatihi
पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः
anena prasavishyadvam
अनेन प्रसविष्यद्वम्
yeshavostvishta kamadhuk.
येषवोऽस्विष्टकामधुक्
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So in the last session, we were seeing the connection between these words, like tu, that is but, and then yaha, saha, that combination, manasa, and then, oh Arjuna, why is he referring to Arjuna by name here? So all this we were seeing. It's a beautiful, what we call as a connective, there is a beautiful effect because of being used within one verse. So certain things are like that. When you take them individually, they have what is called as individual power or individual strength. But then when you put them together, it creates what is called as synergy. In the management jargon, they call it a synergy. Synergistic effect means the group effect, which is more than the sum of the individual parts. That is what we would expect. A typical example of this would be if you take a dish. Let us say you have to put some dal, then you have to put some mirchi powder, then you have to put some salt, you have to put certain vegetables. Now all these put together will create a particular dish, let us say, for you to eat. Now we have to ensure that each and every ingredient which is being put is of very good quality. So if you taste those ingredients individually, that will be one kind of taste. For example, if you take the dal alone and taste the dal, that will give you a particular taste. If you take the salt and put it in your mouth, that will give a salty taste. So like this, the individual, even the vegetables and all, which you will be adding, if you take them individually and taste them, that gives, they give you certain kinds of taste. But when you mix everything together, the combined effect will give a totally different taste. That is called synergy. So individually they may taste different, but together they form a beautiful connection, and they give you a taste which you cannot imagine when you are tasting them individually. The same thing happens in a kaleidoscope also. There are so many glass pieces and of different sizes. Now if you just turn the kaleidoscope this side, suddenly a totally new pattern is formed. Now if you again turn it, some other new pattern comes. the combined effect of the individual pieces adds more depth. That is what in the management they call as synergy. So they right from beginning they've been trying to do research on how to bring that energy of synergy in a team. How do we make people work together and create that synergistic effect for maximum productivity? This kind of research has been going on. So in order to get the full effect of synergy, what is the criteria? Number one, the individual parts should be of very high quality because they are the ones who join together. And then number two, they should be connected properly to each other. Now this principle of synergy is something which the yogis and siddhas have always used to create a powerful transformation within themselves. You can also use that principle in your life because your life can be divided into the various experiences which you are going through. Now today these experiences first of all lack quality and depth in terms of individual experiences. So first you bring in more depth, more intensity in your experiences. And number two, they are incoherent. There is no connection. What you are outside is one thing, what you are inside is one thing. That is what he was talking about in the previous verse. He said mithyachara, no? Hypocrisy. So when there is hypocrisy, then there will be no connection between your the different aspects of your life. So you will be one person in office, you will be another person at home. Even when two people meet each other for the first time and they say we have fallen in love, actually they really don't know what the other person is fully, because there will be a lot of things which will be hidden. The desire to impress will be there. So you will only see a few qualities and you will conclude that that is the other person. But then suddenly after marriage, the other aspects will start revealing themselves. That is when the quarrel starts. So you're someone before marriage, you're someone after marriage. You see, there is no connectivity. So one of the aspects of yoga means to unite from in different ways, you know. So the very Sanskrit word yoga is derived from the root yuj, which means to unite. So there are so many aspects which you need to unite. One of them is uniting all the aspects of your life, uniting all the experiences of your life by connecting them. So how do you connect them? What they are saying is you can connect them through a common factor, which is the infinite, divinity. You call that infinite as God, you call that infinite as divinity, whatever it is, that, or some higher power, any name you give it does not matter. But what runs through each and every experience of your life is nothing but that supreme self. So when through sadhana, when you get connected to that supreme self, then all your experiences they all join together. They form a beautiful pattern. And when they join together in a divine way, that is when you experience the benefits of synergy in your life. you become an integrated person. Your entire life becomes integrated. So, are you leading a fulfilled life today? Are you leading a successful life today? How will you determine that? Not just based on are you good in career, or are you having a good family, are you having good friends. These are all different aspects. You will have to see as a whole, in each and every aspect, how are you, and then when they all join together, what is the synergistic life which you are leading. So this is at the highest level. The infinite supreme reality is the connecting factor. Now from a relative level, what is the connecting factor? He says manasa, when he uses the word manasa, the mind. So first you start from this, and then slowly you expand your consciousness and you unite your mind with the infinite. So how do we say the mind is the connecting factor? Now if you are at office, you are operating with your mind only. Now when you are at home, you are operating with your mind only. When you are listening to this, whatever is being said here, you are operating with your mind. Every experience of yours is done through the mind. That is why a great yogi said, Man hi karta, man hi bhokta. Means the mind is that which does, the mind is that which enjoys. So you go through the various experiences through the mind. The sense organs are the tools which you are using to experience the world further, the further tools. But primarily who is experiencing? The mind. Now we start off with the mind, then when you become more subtle through sadhana, you will find that the mind itself is nothing but an equipment, external equipment. Then the question comes as to who are you? You are the soul. First you start off with the individual soul, Jivatma. And then as you keep on advancing in spirituality, you will start experiencing the expanded soul, which is Paramatma. So those are the different levels in spirituality. So where you start off with is from your mind. So instead of getting completely lost, completely enmeshed in an experience, if you are able to hold your mind, which is what we are going to see now, he uses the word niyamya. Niyamya means restraining, holding. It's a very, very powerful word. When we get into the depth of it, you will understand what a powerful sadhana he is giving. So, but first you need to understand the background, that is the foundational principle. So, in every experience of yours, when you allow the mind to go on its own, it will go and get attached to something or other. Invariably, the mind gets attached to negative things fast. Sometimes what you call as positive will only be temporarily positive. For example, if a person drinks alcohol or he takes drugs or smoking, now all these give immediate pleasure. So the mind gets attracted to that. That's the most interesting part. Every harmful thing in the world, they attract you by giving you initial pleasure, immediate pleasure. So all the negative things, that is things which are harmful to you, which agitate your mind, they all are very pleasant to start with. So the mind will naturally get attracted to those things. Now, once you allow the mind, when the mind goes out of your control, it will pull your personality also along. And when the personality also goes away, it goes and gets completely attached to the problems, the negatives of life. So here we are trying to now reverse this process. The mind is the key. So if you see, last week I said no, but to means moving from problems to solution. So how you need to shift your consciousness from being problem oriented to solution oriented. So how do you do that? By associating your personality with the positive. That is what is meant, that is the significance of addressing Arjuna by his name. So how do you further do that? It is by restraining the mind. By restraining the mind means by gaining mastery over the mind, manasa. And what is the first step in mastery over the mind? That also we saw, yaha and saha. Yaha, the combination, whoever it may be, if he or she does that, does these things, they will reap the benefits. Means they are emphasizing on the choice. So in Sanskrit, in Sanskritam language, there are two words. One is called prarabdha. Prarabdha means destiny. The other is called purushartha. Purushartha means self-effort based on choice. So you create your destiny through your past purusharthas. What is this purushartha? Self-effort. Purusha Artha. Purusha means an individual. Artha means wealth, actually. Purusha Artha means the wealth of a human being as an individual, which you've been given. And what is that wealth? That is the capacity to act independent of your destiny today. The power to change your destiny has been given to you. No other creature has this power. How has this power been given to you? In the form of choice of action. So that's why throughout the Gita, he says, yaha saha, whoever it may be, if he does these things, negative things, he or she will devolve. If the same person does positive things, that person will evolve. It is all in your hands. If you take an animal, there is only prarabdha, the destiny. Whatever it has been programmed for, it just lives the life according to that, a pre-programmed life. The moment you take the human birth, the second factor comes into play, that is purushartha, your self-effort, your capacity to choose the higher. Even though your destiny may be taking you in one direction, you have the capacity to choose the opposite direction and transform yourself. It may take a little while if your destiny is very strong. Destiny means not that some God sitting above is writing your destiny. It is you yourself who has written your destiny based on your past purusharthas, past efforts. Your present destiny is a product of your past. Past means this moment backwards. What all you have done right from beginning till this moment, that is shaping your destiny. Now if you want to change that, you can. How? By applying purushartha. If an animal wants to change, it's not possible. First of all, no animal will want to change because it just leads a mechanical life. That is why in Tamil there is a beautiful proverb, Puli pasittalum pullai tinnadu, which means a tiger even if it is extremely hungry, will never eat grass. It's a beautiful proverb, Means that is its nature to be a carnivore, and it will continue to be a carnivore. If a tiger is wounded, it will look for weaker victims. That is other creatures where it need not have to chase so much, or it will not become a herbivore. Very, very beautifully put there, So as a human being, you have this choice of action. And remember this, every moment of your life is an opportunity for you to exercise the choice and influence your destiny. So you're driving your car in one direction today. Now you want to, let's say, go in the opposite direction. So you just can't turn it at one go. Then there may be an accident. So what do? You slowly, you start turning it towards the right, and you keep on turning till the direction changes fully. So irrespective of where you are heading today, if you want to change your direction, you can start exercising your purushartha, your self-effort. And it's not that as soon as you turn the steering wheel a little bit, immediately the car will change its direction. No, there will be a very minor change in the direction. So these small changes, all of them put together, suddenly they will create the synergistic effect. This is the very principle of Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is how to change your karmas. The technique or the path by which you can change your destiny. See, karma also means destiny, because it is your karmas which determine what your life is going to be. Or right now, whatever your life is based on your karmas only. And who has created those karmas? You yourself have created. No force outside has created that for you. So, if you want to master your life, if you want to master your mind, you need to understand the dynamics of these two forces, the prarabdha, destiny, and purushartha, which is the self-effort based on the choice of action. So in an animal or bird or any other creature, it's only the prarabdha functioning. Now in a human being, the purushartha is also functioning. So that is why you find a human being can devolve in terms of consciousness, I'm saying, and a human being can devolve and become lower than an animal also. The same human being can evolve and become divine. The range of transformation is very, very wide. The possibility is infinite actually. So that's why you have different kinds of human beings, from worst to the best. So the whole essence of the yogic way of life is in creating that synergistic effect. So how do you create that synergy in your life in a positive way? The first step is by taking charge of your own mind. See, your mind can make your life a hell, or it can make your life a heaven. You may have the best of the things with you, best comforts, everything is wonderful, but you may be very miserable there. Why? Because the mind is not under your control. You may not have so many things externally, yet you may be in heaven, you may be so happy. See, what is heaven and hell? When you are happy, that is heaven. when you are agitated, when you're going through a lot of internal issues, stress, that is called hell. Heaven and hell are not outside you, they are right within you. They are conditions of your mind. So, if you want to become a yogi, if you want to get to the infinite, you will have to purify your mind. Mind is everything. The condition of your mind determines the level of your spiritual development. It is not how much of knowledge you have, how many scriptures you've studied. Oh, I have visited so many holy places. All these things do not make you spiritual. The real crux of spiritual development is what is the condition of your mind. You know, there is a story that two friends, they wanted to go out. Now, one boy, he wanted to go to a movie, but the other boy wanted to go to a temple. So the first boy said, why are you wasting your time in the temple? Let's go and enjoy a movie. To which the second boy said, no, you're only wasting your time seeing the movie. Let's go to the temple and get inspired. So they kept arguing, and then the first boy said, okay, I'll go my way, you go your way. So they went. Now, the interesting part of the story is, the first boy, as he was seeing the movie, he was thinking about what the second boy will be doing, what his friend will be doing in the temple. What he said is right, you know. I have come here and I'm just wasting my time here. Instead, if I had gone with him to the temple, I would have got very good vibrations. I would have felt so divine. So these were this boy's thoughts. Now the second boy who went to the temple, and as he entered the temple and he was experiencing everything, he thought about what his friend would be doing in the movie. And then he said, my God, I think I should have listened to my friend. I should have gone to the movie. I'm wasting my time here. I would have enjoyed the movie. There'll be some comedy scenes, there'll be some action scene. All that I'm missing. I'm just sitting here and doing nothing. So, this boy was thinking about the movie and that boy was thinking about the temple. Now, the question is, which will you call as a spiritual experience here? Just by going to a temple or a movie, does that experience become spiritual or worldly? No. It all depends upon the condition of the mind. So that's why they say spirituality is not about doing certain things mechanically. It is about doing all the things in your life in a divine way. So in our scriptures, the yogis and siddhas, they have never condemned any experience as worldly, sensual and all that. Yes, an experience may be sensual, experience may be worldly, an experience may have certain worldly elements, emotional, intellectual, various kinds of experiences. But they never condemned any experience. Rather, they said, you should learn to convert all these experiences into spiritual experiences. How? By taking charge of your own mind. Whenever your mind goes out of control, that becomes a worldly experience. Whenever your mind is under you, you are the master of your mind, then that experience is a spiritual experience. Whether you are spiritual or not is not depending upon the nature of the experience externally, but it depends upon the condition of your mind internally. A person may externally do a great act of charity, but if he does it with the bhavana that I am doing, then that is not a spiritual activity. He is actually doing it with a lot of ego. So no action per se is spiritual or non-spiritual. It all depends upon the condition of the mind, the bhavana. The bhav is the most important factor. So one is the purity of the mind, and the other is to what extent is your mind under your control. Is the mind running on its own, or are you under the control of the mind? Because unless you understand the significance of the word manasa, you will not be able to really grasp the significance of the sadhana which he is giving here, which is indriyani niyamya, restraining the senses. If you don't understand the significance of word manasa, you will take these things literally, and you will go and frustrate yourself, you will suppress yourself, and then that will create more negative energy, and you will end up leaving all your sadhana. So when a guru guides a student, no doubt he has to take an example of an action only which the student performs. But when he is guiding a student, he will never talk about the action per se. He will always be referring to the bhav or the mind behind the action. But invariably the student misunderstands. For example, supposing the student, let's say, is very egoistic. Then the student with all the ego, he puts on an act of humility. Naturally, the ego will push a person to do everything in an egoistic way. Let's say the student comes and does namaste, but it's backed up by a lot of falsity, as he said, mithyachara. The height of ego is there inside, but he just simply bows down externally. Now when a master sees that, he will say, no need to do that. Why are you being artificial? But what is he referring to? He is not talking about the act of bowing down. He is talking of the bhavana behind it. But to start with, a student will not grasp the depth of what the master is saying. He will immediately stop bowing down. Now he will come straight. But still the ego will remain. Now the master may say the opposite. He says, you don't know to bow down, you will have to be humble. Now the student will get confused. What am I to do? Am I to bow down or am I to remain straight? What should I do? The master is not talking about the action. He is referring to the bhavana of the mind. Manasa is a beautiful clue which you get. And if you use that clue to get to the real principle of sadhana, then you have the key in your hands, the key to transform yourself. So if your bhavana is negative, if your attitude is negative, whether you do an act of charity or whether you talk to someone, anything which you do will be backed by that negative attitude only. If your bhavana, the attitude is positive, everything which you do will be backed by that positive attitude. If your bhavana, attitude is spiritual, then every little thing which you do will be spiritual. Externally, all three of them may be doing the same activities. I'll give you an example. A person does charity externally. So, supposing he feels, I am superior, and this person doesn't have anything. okay, let me help him. With that kind of bhavana he is giving, then that is a negative action. But the same bhavana can be, oh, I am fortunate to have so much. The other person is not having, so let me help that person. Then from negative bhavana, now it has become positive. The action is the same. Spiritual bhavana is, who am I to help or not help? It is all, everything is done by that supreme power. Today, I have been given this opportunity to serve this person. So let me just do whatever I ought to do. With that attitude, when you function, then your bhavana has turned spiritual. There is neither the ego of taking nor the ego of giving or helping. So the action being the same, I have given you an example of 3 possibilities, 3 different bhavanas, as far as your mind is concerned. So if you want to master Karma Yoga, you have to understand this principle. Even though we call Karma Yoga as a yoga of action, it is not restricted to action per se, but it is to do with the mind only, because it is the mind which drives the body to act. The body does not act on its own. Now if you ask me what is that which is driving the mind, then we are going into further depth. As we go along, we'll see that so many different levels are there in spirituality. We have to gradually move up. So in every action of yours, at least the major activities, check your bhavana. Check your intentions. Is my intention pure? The big obstacle which you will face is the ego will come and try to cloud the intellect by saying, yes, my intention is pure. It will try to justify the negative actions by giving a pure bhavana. So that alone you need to be very careful about. So a master always looks at the intention of a student. What is the bhavana? And when he finds the bhavana is impure, externally the student may be leading a so-called perfect life, but still he will correct. If the student has surrendered, he will correct him or her and say, what you're doing is wrong. When he says what you're doing is wrong, again, it's not the nature of action. How you're doing it is wrong. That is what is meant there. Otherwise, spirituality has become so simple, You just give a list of activities and you say, do these, now you will become spiritual. It's not so simple like that, because the mind is a very complicated instrument, complex instrument, we can say. When you gain control over it, it's no longer complicated. But when you allow it to rule you, then it becomes very, very complicated. You observe in every experience of yours, the suffering is caused because of your mind only. But you will be thoroughly convinced that the suffering is because of some factor outside you. That person did this to me, this thing is happening, that is why the suffering is there. But if you probe really, really into it, you will find it is because of your mind only. And that is why a thinker said, master your mind, you can master your whole life. So, manasa, with your mind. So what is he asking you to do with your mind? The sadhana, for the first line, you can see, Indriyani niyamya, one who restrains the senses, manasa, with the mind. O Arjuna, this is the first step. See, if you want to do Karma Yoga, the next step is and undertakes the Karma Yoga, the yoga of action, right? If you want to do Karma Yoga, what is the prerequisite? You require the energy to do Karma Yoga. If you don't have any energy, then how can you perform Karma Yoga? It's not only Karma Yoga. In life, if you want to do anything, you require the necessary energy. So first step is conserving your energies which are getting lost completely, which are getting leaked away. Once you conserve your energy, now you can use it for constructive purposes, that is Karma Yoga, for the purpose of development, for the purpose of progress, both internal and external. But when your personality is completely dissipated, now you are not in a position to do karma, action itself, then how can you do Karma Yoga and there is service and all that? How can you be productive in life? It's not possible. See, in the end of the verse, he uses the word Saha Vishishyate. Vishishyate means excelling, becoming successful, productive. So, you can be productive only if you do constructive actions, productive actions. You can, first of all, act only if you conserve your energies. So, in the first portion of this verse, he is talking about conservation of energy. What is it that dissipates your energy? It is your uncontrolled mind. When your mind is running everywhere, now you will become very tired. You generally think it is the action which tires you, but that is not the case. When you do sadhana and when you observe yourself, you can experience this truth. It is not the action per se which tires you, it is your mind which tires you. Because when you have to do one particular action, the mind will not stay put there. It will keep on running everywhere without your control. Over a period of time, that dissipates your energy and you become very tired. Niyamya means holding, restraining. So what do we mean by holding? A yogi always holds his mind. The mind of a yogi never runs anywhere without his permission. It's a very powerful state. You know, if we take the example of the chariot which is given in the Bhagavad Gita and the Kathopanishad. So the horses are there. Now they all have to be held. Supposing you allow the horses to run anywhere, now quickly they'll get tired. You will not be able to proceed with the journey at all. It's the same thing with respect to your mind. So even when you're not doing anything externally, if you just sit, you will find that the mind is running everywhere. So the entire sadhana is aimed at slowly calming the mind and taming the mind so that it doesn't run on its own. You know, when you see the picture of Lord Ganesha, it's been so beautifully depicted. Lord Ganesha is sitting there. There is a plate in front of him full of food, modak. It's all there. And the mouse which is there, which is supposed to be the vehicle of Lord Ganesha. Now that has another significance. I'm not getting into that now. But the most interesting part is, it is looking at Lord Ganesha with palms folded, asking for permission. Can I eat the food? See, generally, if you take a rat or mouse, see, you can't control them. If you try to catch them, they'll run here, they'll run there so fast. Mushak, that's the nature of that creature. But here, how they have depicted it is, the Mushak is asking permission from Lord Ganesha. It's a very, very symbolic representation. The inner sadhana is being depicted there. So your mind is like the Mushak. It will keep running everywhere without your control. But a yogi is one who has brought his Mushak under his control. He has brought his own mind under his control. When he says eat, his mind will eat. Eat means experience. Go here, okay. Go to this object means the mind will run. Come back means the mind will come back. Okay, now think about the past, this experience. The mind will go and think. Come back means it will come back. Okay, plan for the future. When you say stop, the mind will stop. This is the powerful state of a yogi. Today, when you say, you tell the mind, now think about this, now it will start thinking about the past. Now when you say plan for the future, it will start worrying. The mind is not under your control at all. So that is why he says the first step is conservation of your energy. And how do you conserve your energy? By practicing the sadhana of niyamya. Ni means intensity. So yama means restraining, holding. When the word ni is added, it intensifies the meaning of the word yama. It's a beautiful construction. Niyamya, niyama. So yama means holding, and when ni is added, intensely holding. Means there is no room for compromise here. Sir, shall I allow? I have controlled the mind 90%, 10% shall I allow? That 10% will quickly become 90 or 100%. It will take over. If you give a little bit of room for the mouse to run here and there, within no time it will spoil the whole thing. It will make a mess of your room. That is why they say when it comes to the mastery of the mind, you should aim for 100% mastery. It may be a process, it may take a while, all that does not matter. But you should not deter from your goal. You should not become complacent. That is, satisfied or content with a little bit of spiritual achievement, with a little bit of control over the mind. Because till you gain complete mastery over the mind, remember, there is always a chance of slipping. So that is why he uses the word niyama, niyamya. Why? See, even without the letter ni also, it's conveying the meaning, but he has deliberately used the word ni to say that you should never ever compromise. So that is a very powerful sadhana principle, the principle of not compromising on the quality. You can practice it in your life from today onwards. Anything which you do, go for the best. Don't compromise. Now, when I'm saying go for the best, I mean in terms of quality of your actions. Give your best. Because if you misunderstand this, supposing let's say you have an X amount of money. Now, Yogishri said go for the best. Now I want to buy a car. You have an X amount of money. Now within your budget you need to buy. But Yogishri said go for the best. So I'll take a loan and buy a very, very costly car. Then you will get into financial problems. Don't come and say, sir, I practice this sadhana of not compromising. Today I am bankrupt. there, how you how you need to practice this is, practice the quality, that is the no compromise attitude with respect to savings, not with respect to expenses. Without any compromise, save more. Keep on increasing your assets, then you will start becoming rich. See, the tamasic mind misunderstands everything. An alcoholic should not now start misusing this philosophy. Yes, in the Bhagavad Gita it is said you should never compromise. Let me not compromise, let me go for the best drink. So when it comes to expenditure, when it comes to indulgence, you can't use this. The moment we talk of quality, it is to do with the checking, that is the holding. That's why ni has been added to this word yama. Yama means rule, having the discipline. There are so many dimensions to the word yama. We'll be seeing that as we go along. Very, very powerful. But first of all, that combination of ni and yama is something which you need to understand. Otherwise, you will use this philosophy to just keep indulging in life, to keep doing whatever you want, and you will say, in the Bhagavad Gita only they said intensely experience. So I'm smoking and intensely experiencing that, Please don't give that kind of a logic. The intensity here is clearly used for yama, for discipline. So when it comes to the good things in life, never compromise. Good habits, good output, that is the quality of your activities, the good emotions, good thoughts. So in these areas, don't compromise. Go for the best. What do we mean by good habits? The kind of food you eat. Eat really healthy, nutritious food. Don't compromise there. The kind of sleep which you have, it should be quality sleep. Don't compromise there. The kind of breathing which you do, let it be very deep and powerful. Don't compromise there. Everybody is compromising on breathing. If you don't even follow this with respect to your breath, how are you going to follow it in other areas? When it comes to keeping your body fit and with exercises and all that, don't compromise again. Whatever is required, do that. So in all the, with respect to all the good habits, practice this sadhana of ni. Ni means intensely, no compromise at all, going for the best. Similarly, when it comes to your actions, what are the actions which you're doing? Let's say you're working in your office, in your career, give it your best shot. Don't worry yourself about whether you will get recognized or not, whether I will get the benefit of this or not. Once you know this is what you ought to do, give it your best. The results will come automatically. When you deserve something, you will get it. Nobody can take it from you. As Lord Buddha said, truth is like the sun. Sometimes it may be covered with some clouds. It may look as if it is covered, but actually it's not covered. But as long as it is the sun, it is only a question of time, he says. The cloud will pass by and the sun will come out. Similarly, the truth has to come out someday. It can never remain hidden for forever. It's not possible. So when it comes to your output, everything which you're doing, whether you're working in your office or whether you are in your home, let's say you're relating to your spouse, you're relating to your children, give it your best. You should be the best husband or best wife, best father, best mother, best son, best daughter. Best means here not in comparison to others, but in terms of quality of your actions. See, generally what we do is, when we ought to do something, we don't do it. When you're supposed to spend time with your children when they are young, let us say, that time you don't spend time. You are busy doing something else. Wherever you can, I'm saying. Then as the children grow, suddenly now children will become teenagers. Now you sit and regret, oh, I should have done that. But at least as a teenager, you can spend time in the way it has to be, that is according to that psychology. That also you leave. So your entire life is full of regrets only. That is why this sadhana is very, very important in Karma Yoga. Not compromising on quality. If only you can grasp this principle, you will succeed in your life. You will really grow in your career. In everything which you do, you will keep on growing. You see, the real achievers in any field, with respect to that particular field, they would have practiced this principle of no compromise, going for the highest quality. So when it comes to things like your ornaments and all that, if you were supposing you're buying gold, would you like if there is fake gold? You try to ensure that it is of good quality, no? It is the same thing with respect to your activities also. So once you successfully practice it with respect to your habits and then with respect to your actions, then you can move on to your emotions, because emotions are more subtle. When it comes to emotions, choose good emotions. That's why last week I laid a lot of importance on that yaha saha combination. You have the power to choose. Straight away, if I tell you, now choose positive emotion, you will say, sir, that is not under my control. Sometimes I get into a bad mood. It is coming on its own because you have not exercised that choice properly. So start exercising it with respect to first your simple habits in life, and then with respect to your actions. Then you will be able to exercise a choice and you'll start choosing positive emotions. Whenever you find some emotion is negative, you'll be able to release it. And whenever you find some emotion is positive, you will be able to consciously encourage it and grow it. That power, that capacity will automatically come to you. That is when you are becoming a yogi. So a yogi never ever compromises when it comes to emotions. You may go and, let us say, disrespect him, insult him, but internally he will generate the emotion of unconditional love towards you. Why? Because he knows if he is going to react to this and if he generates a negative emotion of anger, who is going to be the sufferer? He is only going to be the sufferer. See, whenever you choose a negative emotion, now forget about the other person. Before it reaches the other person, first it has started from you. So you will be the first sufferer. You are the first victim. Before anger reaches the other person, you already suffered with that anger. Supposing you are feeling very jealous and you go and harm the other person. Before all that, you've already suffered. You've gone through a lot of stress. You are the first victim. So a yogi is one who has clearly understood this. It's not only mere understanding, but he has absorbed this. So whenever he finds certain experiences are trying to trigger a negative emotion, he'll become very alert. That is niyam, that restraint. He immediately checks that, holds the mind there, and he generates the positive emotion. He chooses what emotion he has to generate. That emotion which creates balance and peace of mind is what he keeps on generating. It comes through practice. It doesn't come at one go, but through the regular sadhana with the help of the Guru Shakti in a humble way. When you keep practicing that, slowly, the mind will come under your control completely. So once you practice it with respect to emotions, now you become more powerful, more subtle. Then you can practice it with respect to thoughts. No compromise when it comes to thoughts. Choosing only positive thoughts. That is at a very advanced level only it's possible. At the thought level itself, to exercise this choice of action is a very, very subtle and powerful sadhana. You will be able to do it. You will have to do whatever sadhana the Guru is giving on a daily basis, and you will go through all these stages. It's a question of time. See, today you will not even be aware of what are the thoughts which are coming to your mind. As the yogis discovered, they say you have 64,000 thoughts in a day. You will hardly be aware of a few thoughts. The rest are all just happening on their own, without your control, without even your awareness. But as you advance spiritually, you become fully aware. By exercising this power of choice which has been given to you, the Purushartha, you have grown to that level. So before the thought is formed, or the moment a thought is formed, you become fully aware. Is this the seed for negative energy or positive energy? So it's like a filter, Once you put a filter, the moment the water enters there, it will automatically filter all the negative and let out the pure water. So this wisdom works like the filter within you. The moment a thought passes, by that all the negativity goes away, and what will start coming out will be positive only. That is the beauty of a yogi, which you should aspire to reach. So niyama means, if yama is the whole sadhana, ni means not compromising on quality at all when it comes to positive things in life, when it comes to good things in life. If you don't practice this, what will be the outcome? We have already seen in verse number 6. All your energies will get dissipated. For example, take an alcoholic. Take a person who's into chain smoking or drugs and all these. Now he will have no energy left to function. He will not be able to do his duties properly in family. He will not be able to work properly and succeed. If he is working in an office, there will be some problem or other. If he says, no, I don't want to work in an office, I'll do my own business, he will not have the energy to function. He'll all the time be lying down on the bed only. He'll be inactive. He'll lead a very tamasic life. Whenever you compromise on quality, that leads to leakage of your energies. Whenever you practice the sadhana of ni, that is, not compromising on quality when it comes to the positive things, that will lead to conservation of energy. So the entire process of sadhana is to conserve more and more energy so that you can utilize it for higher purposes, for constructive purposes. So you know, it will be interesting. You will always find a yogi will be very hard working. No yogi will ever be lazy. See, the meditation is not laziness. A tamasic mind interprets meditation as sitting and sleeping, you know. They think meditation, you're doing nothing, you're just simply sitting and sleeping. That's how a tamasic mind will understand it, but that's not meditation. See, the great yogis who are sitting and meditating, they are radiating that healing energy for the benefit of entire humanity. It's a very, very powerful seva, sacrifice which they are doing. There could be impersonators, you know, who are lazy and they call it as yoga. Now, that we are not talking about that. See, in any principle, in anything, there will always be fake people. But a true yogi is one who does such intense activity. But what is interesting is, a yogi, even though he may be so hardworking, you will not find him depleted of energy. He will always be full of energy. Whenever the physical body is depleted a little bit, he will go and take the necessary rest. He will sleep, and when he comes back, see, whenever he is awake, you will find him full of that zest, that energy. How is that? Because there is no mental dissipation. As I told you, you just have to sit in one place and your mind is going helter-skelter. After 1 hour, you will feel so tired. Now, he says you have to reverse the process. Allow your body to act. That is in the second line, he will be seeing that. Undertakes the karma yoga. Act in a very productive way. But internally, keep all your energies conserved. Don't allow your mind to indulge. This was the life of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna was an avatar of the infinite. Now, what was his life? You will find that Lord Krishna was extremely active outside, but internally he was 100% restrained. Restraint means 100% conservation of all his energies. So every yogi gets into that wonderful state. So that state is called a state of karma yoga. When you are practicing that, we can say you are practicing karma yoga. But once you have mastered that, you are eternally in that state of karma yoga. You see, the entire nature is in the state of karma yoga. They keep on acting, no holiday and all that. The sun is giving heat and light. The trees are growing, yielding fruit. Whatever it is, each aspect of nature, the birds are chirping. They are doing their part. So every aspect of nature is constantly functioning. No tiredness, no holidays. There is always a conservation of energy. It's naturally in a state of karma yoga. So when you practice these principles, you also become one with nature. Thereafter, you will be able to, function so effectively and so productively in your life, but your mind will be very, very peaceful and calm. Your mind will not feel any tiredness. Your body may feel tired. That can easily be solved. You give it some rest, or you give it enough sleep, it will get back its energy. Your body may feel hungry. You give it food, it will get its energy. Your body may feel thirsty. You give it some water, the thirst will be removed. See, there also many people don't understand. When they are thirsty, they go for other kinds of drinks, soft drinks and all that. When you're thirsty, you should drink water only. Your body is wanting water. Remember this. So that is at the physical level. That can be easily solved. But when it comes to the mental energy only, it's a most difficult thing. So as a sadhana practice, what you can do today or this week is, whenever you have some spare time, I am deliberately saying whenever you have spare time, because this sadhana should not be overdone. If you overdo this sadhana, that can really tire you out. What you do is, casually, very casually, see, don't forget these words, in a relaxed way, very casually, just observe your own mind. Don't overdo this, because this is something like a meditation only which I am giving you. Now, you have to be very careful while doing this sadhana, because if in your enthusiasm, if you overdo it, then you will start feeling very tired. But just casually watch your own mind. It will be very interesting when you do it in a relaxed and casual way. You will find that the mind is never resting. It's running there, it's running here, it's going here, going there. Just like like Lord Ganesha's Mushak, running here, running there. Don't try to pull the mind. Don't say, now come on, keep quiet. Don't use any force, nothing. The sadhana is only to just observe. That's all. Just to build that awareness. And enjoy that. See, if you're objective and if the Mushak is running here and there, that becomes an entertainment. Like you see in the cartoon movies and all that they've shown, no? Even Walt Disney, Mickey Mouse and all, they keep running here and there. Tom and Jerry, we have seen that, no? Actually, that's what is happening in your mind also. So just as you're watching a Tom and Jerry show and you enjoy it, similarly, if you can just casually, in a relaxed way, start observing your mind, it will be a more entertaining show than these external shows and movies. Believe me. You will not require any external entertainment thereafter. But don't overstep your capacity. Don't take it as a work and do it. That's why I said casually, in a very relaxed way. Okay, so you do that sadhana this week whenever you get time. I'm not giving you a particular time, or I'm not saying do so many times a day. See, we will not get into all that. Whenever you're at leisure, in a relaxed way, just do this at least a few times before you come for the next session. Because when you do that, then when we get into the different dimensions of what this niyamya which he is giving, you will be able to absorb those messages in a more deep way. See, in the yogic approach, we are very practical. We lay so much of emphasis on practice, not merely dry theory and bookish knowledge. It's not enough if you merely pray to Lord Ganesha outside, or if you just read about Lord Ganesha's incidents in the Puranas, that is not enough. You will have to take that philosophy, those principles, and apply them internally. Is this clear? So you do this small homework and you come back next week. Only then you will be fully prepared. You will be more prepared to understand the deeper imports of this amazing sadhana which is giving, niyamya. And unless you absorb and start practicing niyama in your life, you will not be able to do karma yoga. You will not be able to be productive in your life, both from a worldly level and from a spiritual level. That is the beauty. Okay, so we'll stop with this here. We will do the Nididhyasana meditation. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am going into a state of deep relaxation. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I'm going deeper and deeper into myself. I am not this body. I am not this mind. I am not this intellect. I am that supreme infinite self. As a human being, I awaken the force of Purushartha, self-effort within me. From this moment onwards, I choose not to compromise on the quality when it comes to positive things in life. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes. Rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So today we had a very powerful session. This entire Karma Yoga is going to fill you with a lot of power, with a lot of energy. And what is interesting is the next Yoga Sankirtan which I am working on, the energy of Lord Muruga. Now that is meant for this only, to infuse tremendous dynamism within you, Once that is also ready, you will be tremendously equipped. So the most important thing is for you to understand these things in the right spirit and practice them in the right way, not bringing in your own understanding of what these things are. As I told you, not compromising on quality. Don't compromise. Go for the best means. You should not do that with respect to negative or harmful things in life. It's obvious. It is with positive things. Okay. So we'll go into more depth in the coming sessions. Thank you very much. Hari Om.